Once more, the left-wing media is not being fair, or the left-wing pundits are not being fair to the greatest president ever. He was just saving the world and the millions and hundreds of millions of people with very little cost to American lives because God's on their side and is protecting us. It's true. Apocalypse not now, not quite now. Because what was going to happen was we're going to blow Iran back to the Stone Age. That's what we're going to do because they were being bad. They were killing Americans and killing people in the Middle East and having their surrogates do nasty things to the Israelis. Well, the Israelis are going to take that. They got atomic bombs too. So they're going to atomic bomb Iran before Iran atomic bombs them with just one, because it just takes one. Israel's a tiny little country. But they got a lot of bombs. But they're beating the crap out of the Iranians. Well, I should say the mullahs. Because the Iranian people are turned against their tyrannical, totalitarian, religiously fanatic, in a weird way, old masters. And they are rebelling, but they're being shot down the street. And we have to help them out to help them regime change. And that's why I said regime change. We don't do that no more because we didn't do it in Iraq and we did it wrong. Just because you did it wrong in one country don't mean you gotta do it in another country. The Iranians are a fairly homogenized group. Unlike the Iraqis, who were all kinds of Sunni and Shia or whatever they want to call themselves, and they were at crossroads and they didn't like each other, and we tried a denazification. It didn't work because you can't do that. You can't do the same plans you did in Europe because it was different in Europe. I could explain it to you, but I don't care to. Trump blasts low IQ Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson's a stupidity boopity. That's what I said. Because he thinks that we can stay out of a European war by not going into or a war that far in the east, in the middle of in the desert, endless war. Because Tucker, what do you think atomic bombs are going to do if they start throwing them around in the Middle East? Do you think those radioactive clouds are just going to stay in radioactive city in the Middle East? No, they're gonna float around the world and kill me, maybe. And wouldn't you just like that, Tucker Carlson, where you could go in your little fallout shelter? Look, Tucky, we haven't been able to do that. We live on two big seas between us and the bad guys since 1945 because of atomic weapons. That's true. It's true. So, Tucky, you just stop it. But we can't avoid war in the Middle East. But what we could avoid is high casualties in Americans. And also, we can make everybody be friends with each other once we see the real enemy is the extreme mullahs and their brothers in nastiness and extremism. Yeah, and then the Middle East will become a very peaceful place with lots of casinos, just as Donald Trumpy dreams. As for you Palestinians, sore losers, you lost fair and square in the War of 48. And not only that, that's true, it's true, and you haven't been good, what you call it, sports about the whole thing. And when you go into other countries, you don't just say, okay, we'll be in this other country. You try to take them over like Lebanon, which you really did after a while, and Jordan, which you almost did. And that's why nobody will let you in their country because you're just a bunch of troublemakers. You get masked and you do it violent and you do bad things. That's I said it. And you're doing that now in this country, and it's wrong. Stop it. Be good boys. Good boys and good girls. Oh, God's cooking man. Oh, you don't want to get the God of wrath of me at you. He'll drown you. Well, he'll blow you up, turn you into a pile of salt. And well, you should deserve it. Trying to kill all the Jews, saying from the river into the sea. That's not nice. And everywhere you go, you start to do it. You go to Australia, start to do it. You go to the few European countries, start to do it. What are you doing? You go to New Zealand, you start doing troublemakers. We're going to take your mask off and we're going to reveal who you really are. And you're not going to get no more scholarships, no more in the other countries. That's right. Serving in Boston, Axis fiends, and don't you try to become mayors of our cities. How the hell did this happen that a communist, Marxist, hater of of Israelis and Jews is a mayor of the New York City that has the biggest Jewish population in the world, except for Israel? How'd that happen? You know why? Because Jews don't know, when to say no to communism. They have a soft spot because they think it's fair. But it's not fair. It's always a debacle. And now they're going to be debacled. And they should stop it. Oh, hate is back in vogue. You know what? The devil wears Prada, and she was the devil. She's a bad girl. She didn't like Ivana Trump, and Ivana Trump is classy. And then she thought Biden's wife was the classy one. Oh, my Biden's wife hasn't been a looker, or a dresser in 40 years. Back when the day, she may have been okay. And as for Obama's wife, oh, she's the strongest one. But we all know who the most beautiful lady is. It's Ivana. Oh, beautiful, beautiful Ivana. There's never been a girl as beautiful as Ivana, you see. Ivana, oh, you're a sweet little girl, number Ivana. And if your husband does trifle with another, you will see that he pays for it. You'll kick him in the shins, I just know of honor, but not look the other way like Kiliana does with her pervert husband. 'Cause we all know that Clinton was a sex maniac and raped a few times. And he has many crimes, you see. Underage children was his forte when he went to Epstein Island. Of course, you didn't know about it. Oh, Miss Biden, I don't know what your real sexuality is. You radical feminist is. Kills no. Oh, look at this. I think this country has two, I don't, alleged. Okay, come on. You see the guy cutting off somebody's head, you go, he allegedly cut off a head. We don't have absolute proof of that. You know, this is about the serial killer in Long Island who killed all those prostitutes. And now he's fessing up to it. And he's going to get sued by the families of the victims of prostitute families. Well, he and his family, they're getting sued too because they made a lot of money off of the situation, which I believe they should. They should be taxed for being idiots that they live with a serial killer. And come on, you didn't know he has his serial killing tortured mansion in his place? Come on, it's suspected something. You shouldn't make money off being idiots. Oh, what's this? I'm tired of the rules of feminism being, and whether you can consort with your fellow workers being done by radical lesbian feminists. They don't like heterosexual sex anyway, so they don't want anybody to be happy except for themselves. It's okay if they do it, but not if you do it. Then they can have their illicit sex among lesbians. God knows what's going on. But they don't like the heterosexuals having fun. But heterosexuals, just like girls, want to have fun, you bummies. You stop it. You shouldn't be making rules. There should be no anti-sexual harassment laws in the office. Yeah, I wouldn't say it, because the people who made those rules are feminists and lesbians, and they don't like people being happy who are heterosexual. It's true. They are being cocky doodles. Oh, look at Gavin's wife, Gavin Newsom. Newsom. What a piece of work he is. What a phony baloney. And you know what she said? that she wanted to see true racism, so she took our kids out of state to go to Alabama, to a red state where all of us are terrible, terrible racists. Oh, you bet. I bet that story was a lie. And now you own a bond was because you killed your by mistake you killed your sibling with a golf cart and you identified with murderers who murdered their kids. Oh, you evil. Oh, I could say bad things, but I won't because I'm a good boy. But God's gonna punish you for being such a Oh, Jimmy Carter. So the difference between Jimmy Carter and Donald Trump is Trump is a winner while Jimmy was a loser. Jimmy was the weakest president ever. A good man. I mean, he helped a lot of people. He made little building little houses when he get out of the office. But a jerk in terms of being president. Can't be nice. Can't be nice. You gotta be toughy tough like Trump. And and he kept on saying, well, it'd be a war crime if you blew up the infrastructure of a city. Well, what do you think we did in World War II? How do you think we won the World War II? Then Truman and then President Roosevelt would be war criminals by your standards. This is just a scam where you could go and get away with bloody murder of dictators of the UN. That's right. You cocky doo-doo heads. Dojo dumps on them deal. What's this? What's this say? What's this say? Don jump there. Don dumps on them daily plan. Oh, but you know what happened? Obama would, instead of bombing Iran, he wanted to bribe him, give him lots of money so they can further their bad stuff to kill Americans. Well, not on Donald Trump's watch. Oh, but you know what happened? You know, I was against the woman who was in charge of our, our border, Christy Nome, because she killed a puppy because she wouldn't behave, and that's to show how tough she was. Well, says Christy, you can't kill puppies because they're dumb. Puppies are dumb. That's their nature. And they're going to do bad things, and you should love them and give them to somebody else rather than kill them because you hate them. Yes, I go. But she did a good job at the border. She stopped the border happening. And she was sexy too, because she would go in front of the prisoners that we were leaving in El Salvador or somewhere like in that direction. And they were all in their cage, and she was behind them looking sexy like some dominatrix from a 1980s exploitation movie. And I was very impressed because that's the kind of woman we need. Well, it turns out that she was at her second command and she was spending millions of dollars on an expensive plane that had a bed in it where they could do the hoopy doop. And she was doing it out of wedlock, in wedlock, and she shouldn't do that. And because we Republicans aren't supposed to do that, the bad Democrats are the pervs. Anyway, it went further down Pervert Road because we felt sorry for her husband who would be cuckolded. And it turns out he's a cross-dressing booby man who dresses in big boobs and supports the big boobs of people. He has a fetish. I thought only Democrats had fetishes that if Americans, real Americans did it would be just kind of kinky, but not really kinky, kind of squarish, about as kinky as a square person can be. But that's not how it turned out to be. The bimbo was getting money from him. Oh, big bosom women don't go on the internet and trap on Republican guys. Can't you see that's not right? Let the perverts be Democratic as lies. And they were doing nasty things. You know what the fucking the Democrats were doing? They were doing the hopey dope. In the court where they take the Supreme Court things. Oh, what is going on with the world? The world is crazy, but not me. I'm the sanest man in the world, whoopie doop. I'm the sanest man in the world, whoopie doop.
I may be a little crazy, and I may be a little lazy, but I'm not as crazy. I'm the sanest man, a hoopy doopy doop. Whoa, whoa, whoa. No, I'm gonna put this here. Oh, let's see. Spread school. You know, we do somehow a Marxist Hungarian commie rich guy has been getting us to have all these whatchamacallits, district attorneys who are Marxist and lesbian killers. And they want us to be destroyed from within by taking care of the court system. They made one mistake and was called Donnie Trump. Because Donnie's not going to take it. They'll arrest you, you damn judges. Do you have an army? I don't think so. You don't have an army, so we can arrest you and put you in jail. Put you in the Aleutian Islands. That's right. That's what Rudy Giuliani should do. You almost ruined that man, and he knew when he knew that you had falsified the last election and the grave men of January, October 6th. Was it October or was it no, October was when the Israelis were murdered. January 6th heroes. Middle-aged men going through puberty, LAUC. They had midlife crisis, but they weren't shape enough to climb up the trees. They climbed up the Capitol and sat in Nancy Spice's nest. They put him in jail for a long, long nest. Now they're out ready to street fight you lefty piece of cocky doo-doo. Street fighting people of the right. Oh, the experts buster that Trump is not true, but he is liberating everybody, it's true. He's the man you see, that is love, not an Eastern yesery. And soon we all, the lefties, will be in jail, you see. Oh, I love me Trumpy, I do. He is no man's fool. He'll negotiate with you, and then kaboom, kaboom, he's a trumpet, ha ha ooh. Oh, I love me Trumpy, yes I do. I love to Trumpy, yahoo. He's the man for you and me, he's the man, yes sirree. He is Trumpy and he's no man's fool. Oh, I love me a Trump.